way. Ruto's defense, huh? Ruto's Kasongo's defense forces, huh, now killing the same Gen Zs that they were meant to protect. Now, this is now what's now catching right now in Kenya. Ruto's Kasongo's defense forces. That's a new hashtag that Kenyans have come up with. Now, of course, there are some 4 points that are coming out from this narrative. And now, know very well that after the BBC's documentary, Kenyans are now angry with Ruto actually because of what happened during the last demonstration. And now, one of them is the betrayal of uniform. Of course, KDF, Kenya Defense Forces, are mandated constitutionally to defend the country from outside or external attacks. But here we are seeing KDF attacking, killing. We have seen how harmless, young people were shot in the head. And of course, they died instantly. Something that is so sad. And BBC has proved this because BBC managed to even show the killers, yeah, the real killers. Imagine, we even saw a commander uh, telling his forces, Maliza. You see, this was somehow uncalled for because just imagine shooting at people who are actually exercising their democratic right. You are killing them, shooting them in the head. Instead, at least shoot them at mguu or kichwa. That's so, it is painful. And I can just imagine what the parents are going through after actually having watched the, the damning, video from BBC. And of course, the public or Kenyans are now hungry. People demand that Ruto should actually quit being the president of Kenya because he's not able to protect Kenyans from dying because even abductions and deaths. And other point is why Kasongo Defense Forces? Why do you think Kenyans have come up with that hashtag Kasongo? No, Kasongo is just a, a name, yeah, mockery name that Kenyans gave Ruto after, of course, the lies, the dramas we have seen in this government. And soldiers now are seen as hired guns. Yeah. Now people see that soldiers, that the president is now using, the government is now using soldiers to actually maim its own citizen. Maim its own citizen. Just like, in Uganda, Kanyama government, remember Uganda also, Museveni is going through the same thing. And this government is being referred to as Kanyama government. And now, the point is Gen Z's viral war, memes, resistance. Gen Z's, they're using the internet, as a tool to fight the government. Of course, to me, if you ask me, I think that's a good book than, um, destroying properties. And protesters are now weaponizing Kasongo forces to strip KDF of legitimacy. Yeah, by saying Kasongo Defense Forces. Actually, the young people, the Gen Zs, are trying to discredit the KDF. They're trying you know, to strip KDF of legitimacy because the person who was seen shooting at the young people, killing people at the parliament. Imagine shooting someone who is escaping. That's cowardice. Like a cowardly act. How do you shoot someone who surrender, who is down, or who is escaping? How do you kill that person? That's being, a coward. And I think that KDF officer is a coward because you can't shoot someone in the head. At least shoot him gubas. Yeah, that person can, get treated later. But you see, you shoot someone in the head. It's like you're aiming to kill. You're killing someone who's actually protesting. Yeah? The high cost of living, the high taxation that is still being imposed on Kenyans. So I think this documentary has really angered Kenyans, and I believe it will not go well with Ruto in due course. And again, we are seeing how the Ruto's looming disaster. Yeah, ICCs now wanaangalia Kenya. Remember in the year 2008, 2009, 2009, 2010, the Ocampo came to Kenya, and of course, the first person he was looking for was William Samoei Ruto after the allegation that came out, during the Kiamba and whatever. And now ICC is still eyeing Kenya, and they're saying that the person they once had a case with, the person they had accused, yeah, maiming or having allegedly killed Kenyans, is now the president, and now they are seeing Kenyans dying. So ICC and the international community is watching Kenya, and they are watching Ruto. And if at all this thing will continue, I think Ruto will be answerable. He will tell the world why is why are people dying under his leadership, because he was just acquitted some 7 years ago from ICC cases. So you see, this is what now Kenyans are calling Kasongo Defense Forces. Yeah, Kasongo Defense Forces. You see, it's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. This KDF is now being called Kasongo Defense Forces, a mockery term that shows how these officers are working for Ruto, but not for Kenyans who are actually paying taxes for them, for the salary. And now, if these forces are working for Ruto, yeah, in actually a bad way, then who will protect Kenyans? That's the question that every Kenyan is asking. Who do you think will protect Kenyans after what you have seen in yesterday's documentary? No, folks, tell me in the comment section. And of course, subscribe. And always remember that we will be meeting here anytime we have this, you know, contents pertaining politics. Thank you.